How often have you finished a round of golf and in the clubhouse you've said, oh, it could have been so much better today if I didn't make these silly mistakes?
In today's video, we're going to be showing you the 7 biggest mistakes that we see and how to fix them. And look, we guarantee you're probably doing 2 or 3 of them.
Aim your ball flight, not your body. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we do as golfers is we think that we need to aim down the middle of the fairway and try and play a straight shot, when it's not the case. All of us as golfers have different shot patterns, so we need to understand really what shape we play and also where it's likely to miss. So if you hit 10 drives, you've got a shot pattern, it might be a little bit of a fade, but if you hit those 10 drives, where is the miss likely to be? Is it likely to be more right or is it likely to be more left? And then you need to put that into play when you step on the golf course. So we need to aim that ball flight to the hole. So if you have a little bit of a fade and the miss is likely to be right, well, let's aim down the left-hand side, not try and play this perfectly straight shot. What we're doing is we're fitting our game to the golf course. So we're here at the 3rd at the Grand. Let's say my shot pattern is a little bit of a fade and the miss is to the right. What I'm gonna do here now is just pick a spot down the left-hand side of the fairway and just allow that fade to actually happen rather than fight it. What I'm going to do then is minimize the chances of hitting it in the crack to the right and give myself the best chance possible of finding that fairway. So don't just aim straight, aim your ball flight, not your body. Boca!
So the biggest mistake with the driver is you are not in the box at setup. So what we mean by that is if we actually draw a box around your body from the outside of the ankles all the way up above the head, we'll often see that golfers are getting that upper body tilted towards the target with the driver and those shoulders are often open. This is because the ball's further forward and we're just reaching for it to get a good view of the golf ball. Now from here, unfortunately, it probably means you're going to be massively over the plane when you're swinging down, and it also means you're going to be very steep. And they're just 2 things that we don't want if we want to hit long straight drives. We want to be near the plane and we ideally want to be hitting it on the way up. So let's get that same box in play and let's give you the K-bomb. So all we're going to get you to do is to put your trail hand on your thigh like so, square shoulders, and then from there just drop it down an inch. And then from there, bring your hand into the side of the golf club. Now you can see my upper body is in the box and it's in a very different angle to what it was before. I'm tilted away from the target and my shoulders are nice and square. From there, we have a chance to get it on that plane and hit it on the way up. So make sure when you're driving, you're in the box.
Okay, biggest mistake when it comes to the putting green is no routine or a poor routine. Why is it so important? Well, there's 3 things we need to do well when it comes to putting. Read the green, start the golf ball online, and judge the pace. And having a great routine enables you to actually get all those components together and give yourself the best chance possible to hold the putt. Also avoid 3 putts. So I'm going to take you through our routine, which is RAP, R-A-P. If you do this in this order, it really is going to make a difference and you can take it straight to the golf course. So the R is read. So read the green. The first thing you need to do is just read the green. Use your feet, use your eyes, crouch down behind the golf ball, have a look at what you see. You need to start getting a visualization of what the ball's going to do. And using the feet when you walk around the green as well is certainly going to help. So once you've read the green, you then need to start thinking about where you're going to aim. So when it comes to this, you can do a couple of things. You can either look to the side of the hole and select a point. So for this one here, quite a big break from right to left. I need to start this one, I think, probably 5 feet to the right. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting a visualization of 5 feet to the right, and I'm going to line the line up on my golf ball. If you do that, straight to that point. That now is helping me with my aim. If you don't use a point next to the hole, you can select a spot within the first foot where you can try and get the golf ball rolling over, but you need to really have a focus on your start line. So once you've taken care of that, the P is just pace. I've done my line. All I'm going to do now is step in and square my putter up to that line. But when it comes to this now, I don't want to be thinking about the line. I'm going to glance, I'm going to stare at the target, glance at the golf ball. I'm having a rehearsal where I'm tapping into the pace of the putt. I'm really getting a feel and a sense of what the pace needs to be like. I'm imagining the ball rolling in the hole from there, and then I step in, taking care of the read, taking care of the aim, focus on the pace, And just having those three, that structure there, I was a little short on pace, the line was perfect, but look, I'm not going to three putt from there. If you follow that structure, I guarantee you're going to hold more putts and avoid those nasty three putts.
So the biggest mistake with our irons is planning for our best when we should be planning for our average. So take this scenario into account here, 18th at the Grand. We've got a back left flag and we would often just find the yardage on that flag, 155 yards, and go, but you know what? I hit my best 8-iron 155 yards, whereas the reality is your average 8-iron probably goes around about 143 yards. So think of that, if you plan for that best shot in this scenario, especially with it uphill and into the wind, you would probably end up short of the bunker. We see a lot of golfers short on this hole. The next thing is you're planning to aim for the hole, whereas actually your margin for error around that hole is very difficult. So actually we need to pick a spot which is going to allow for you to miss it. How often do we hit the golf ball exactly where we want to? So plan for a spot where it's okay to miss. So if we actually went, right, let's go 5 to 10 yards short right of that flag, that gives us a margin for error around that. So let's say in this shot here, we're going to go 145 yards. We can go, well, okay, that's probably my best, an average. That's probably my average 8-iron, but it is into the wind a little bit and uphill. I'm actually going to go with a 7-iron. So we're now going for a 7-iron for a spot which is short of the flag. So often golfers are short. In this instance here, you're picking a great strategy based around your average, not around your best. So 7-iron in hand, short right of the flag. Let's play it. Great example there. It was a little bit thin. It might not quite make the yardage, but don't forget. So plan for your average, don't plan for your best.
Okay, the biggest mistake that we see in the bunkers are golfers hitting the sand way too far behind the golf ball. This is often just leaving the ball in the bunker, or sometimes if we just miss the sand here, we thin it and it goes flying through the back of the green. So here's what you need to do. Place a golf club to the side of the golf ball. Okay, draw a line, roughly a golf club behind where the golf ball is. Now what we want to do is make sure that we can enter the club in the sand just about where that line is, or even just at the start of the line here. If we can do that with some speed, we are going to be much more consistent when it comes to bunkers. Now, what are the key things that we need to do in order to do that? Well, first thing is we need to have the ball position relatively forward in the stance. So forward in the stance is a good thing to do here. But the crucial part here is now in the setup, we're going to flare the foot out. We're going to have a nice wide stance with plenty of stability in the knees, but we're going to make sure that we lean all the weight onto this lead leg. So flare the foot out, we're going to lean all the weight into the lead leg, and we're going to keep it there. We're going to make sure that we keep it there, and we're going to focus on hitting this line with some speed. You can, if you want to, pick that right foot up, make sure there's no weight on there, and just feel as if that weight stays on this foot throughout. You'll see there's still plenty of flex in that. So all I'm going to do here, flare the foot out, lean all the weight. I'm going to pick this foot up here now, and my focus is to just hit that line with a little bit of speed. And if you do that, I guarantee you'll consistently get the golf ball out of the bunker. Okay, this is by far the biggest mistake we see when it comes to the swing when chipping. Stop accelerating on your chip shots. We hear this all the time that, oh, I decelled on that. It is just not the case. Now, the problem is, what most golfers tend to do is they think they decel. So what we're seeing a lot of is short swings and then an over acceleration. Now, the problem when we see this is that if we have a short swing and then over acceleration, it actually creates too much shaft lean, which exposes the leading edge, and then we can get really jerky with it, and also it's going to create a poor interaction with the turf. What we want to do, and think about this, we want touch, we want finesse, we want feel. We don't get that from accelerating fast. We get this from smoothness, softness, rhythm, and tempo. So the distance that you swing back is going to create the speed. We don't want you to accelerate. We want you to feel that everything's moving at a very even pace. So back and through. The club is accelerating, but it's not an over accelerating. And when I do this, you'll see there's almost like a little bit of a pause when it comes to here in transition, where it slows down and then picks up speed. If we over accelerate, we see something like this. So when I'm playing this shot, There's going to be no acceleration. The length of the swing is going to create the distance, and I want to make sure everything stays moving here. Stop accelerating on your chip shots. It will not help you.
So the last biggest mistake is an under rotation of your hips in the backswing. Okay, so we see this happen a lot with golfers. So it might be because you haven't got the mobility in that low body. It might be because you're actually trying to stop the sway. It might be because you're just not moving enough. So obviously, by having this under rotation, it's going to cause you problems. Now, what it can do is it can cause you to hit the ground well before the golf ball. It can actually cause you to swing over the top in the downswing. So look, we need to get more rotation in that backswing. If we can get around about 45 degrees of hip rotation in the backswing, it's going to allow us to be on plane. It's going to allow for us to hit that ball followed by the divot. So look, this is crucial and probably one of the most overlooked things that we see with golfers. So here's a simple drill for you. So an alignment stick, place it through your belt loops or stick it down your pants like I'm going to have to do because there's no belt loops on here. But this is great because it just gives you a guide. Obviously, we're at about 0 degrees here with our hips. Now, actually, this works really well because I've got a shadow right in front of me here, so I'm going to get two points of feedback. So I'm going to get you to address the golf ball, and from here, just have a backswing, and what we're looking for is that alignment stick to get near the golf ball. If it gets near the golf ball, we know that we've got at least 45 degrees, maybe even a little bit more. I'm also seeing that shadow from the alignment stick. Again, it's getting near to the golf ball. So this is great. Just have 3 or 4 swings, understanding what it feels like to rotate. If you're struggling with mobility and it's finding it really hard on your back, you can get your right foot, your trail foot, and you can flare it, or you can even drop it back a little bit. As soon as you do those 2 moves, or just one of those moves, wow, it's like that rotation now is a whole lot easier as a result of that. Now you can hit shots with the stick in if you want to. Yeah, I'm going to do that if you don't want to, but when you hit the shot, just make sure you feel as though you're getting more rotation from those hips. Okay, so make sure you get those hips turning in the backswing. Look, hope you enjoyed that. 7 things that we really see on a day-to-day basis that are harming our games. So please make sure you're limiting as many of those as possible. Now look, if you want more help from us, if you want myself and Andy as your online coaches, then check out Me and My Golf. Click the link in the description or download the app.